Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this session. Before starting our presentation, let me briefly introduce myself. I'm Valentina, Exhibition Manager and CRM Coordinator for Decoral Group, expert in cross-cultural communication. As I said, I was brief. What will we talk about today? As you read here in this slide, we will substantially deal with the concept of sustainability and the impact it has on the environment, society, and economy. I will take our group as an example to show you the shapes that sustainability might take in everyday business. Finally, I get into the details of wood effect aluminium, an eco-friendly technology, and you will see some projects making use of it. So, I imagine that the first question that came into your mind when you read this title might have been something like, which is the connection between wood effect aluminium and living comfort? Well, to give you an answer, we have to take a step back and look a little bit deeper into our entity and the concept of sustainability. First of all, who we are. We are a group of 16 companies, 600 workers. Our headquarters is based in Italy, more precisely Verona, which is a city not far from Venice. We have also other subsidiaries spread around the world, US and Brazil, just to mention two. Our main business is metal profile treatment. Our story began in 1974 with anodization. Later on, we introduced powder coating lines, and in the 19th, we patented a technology to decorate aluminum with countless effects like wood, corten, marble, and so on. During the following decades, our R&D department carried on an ongoing research activity aimed at continuously improving the quality of our finishes and launching new high-performance products. This is how our wide range of powder coatings that we offer today saw the light. Anti-graffiti, bendable, anti-slip, as well as many decorative effects like high gloss, rough, and so on. We provide powder coating and decoration services mainly to the Italian market and neighbors. To all other countries, what we do is selling our decoration machineries and raw materials, that is to say powder coatings and heat transfer films. Our products can be used in a great variety of applications: doors and windows, ceilings, facades, walls, lighting, urban furniture, shipbuilding, and many others. The experience that we gained in 40 years leads today to an effective and flexible response to the requests of architects, interior designers, and final contractors that we can put in touch with our local manufacturers. So, with this short introduction, we answered at least one of the 5 W's questions. Who? Now, which is the next one? Well, it's time to get to the core of our discussion. Let's give a reason and explain why we are suggesting a connection between our specific technology and well-being. There is a term that links the two aspects, which is sustainability. Sustainability is our main goal. the one that keeps together our strategy and explains our development path. It is not a simple empty motto, but a way of being, an everyday challenge. We all know what sustainability is and the importance that it has, nowadays more than ever before. The UN World Commission on Environment and Development defines sustainable development as a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable development goals are seen as a universal call to action to end poverty, protect the planet, and improve the lives and prospects of everyone, everywhere. This last definition immediately clears up which are the spheres of influence when talking about sustainability. That is to say, environment, society, and economy. Sustainability encompasses and affects all these dimensions. There is a close, sometimes subtle, others clearly visible link among the three. If we want to put it in a simple way, imagine a vicious circle, a chain of events that influence each other and end up having a detrimental result. What am I saying? You know, natural resources are fundamental inputs for the economic growth in a great number of sectors. Once processed and used up, they may turn into outputs that lead to pollution and negative pressures on the environment. A damaged environment, in turn, influences the quality of life and health of people. If we want to reverse these trends and minimize the adverse effects, we all need to be responsible by pursuing a development that puts environment and human beings first. At this point, you may say, okay, but what can we concretely do? You know, we as human beings leave a footprint on this earth. But I think that the lighter this footprint is, the better it is. So we, as a company, contribute to the construction of buildings and production of components with minimum impact on the environment, while at the same time ensuring high standards required by the main international protocols of sustainability. From the side of the production process, we use innovative systems to reduce CO2 emissions, water consumption, and recycle materials. As for our products, the high quality is certified by international standards and proved by rigorous tests. Among the latter, one of the most severe is the natural exposure test made in Florida. Finishes are exposed for at least 1 year to the harsh climate of Florida to test their resistance to weathering. All finishes that pass these tests are suitable for outdoor use. This is a key point. If we consider that our finishes are used in many countries with many climates, some of them more aggressive than others, as it might be the case for African countries, where sunlight and sea exposure might damage surfaces. In the last decade, Decoral finishes have been applied in many buildings all over the world. US, UK, China, Russia, Vietnam, France, and even in countries close to the equator, where the sun radiation is higher than other places. I will prove this by showing you a cladding we made for a university in Singapore. As you see, part of the facade was covered with wood effect aluminum profiles, like a sort of sun shading system. After 5 years of exposure, test results show us how finishes deteriorated in the medium-long term. You know, some effects may deteriorate more quickly than others. So, in this way, you can guess which effect lasts for a longer or shorter time, depending also on the place where it will be used. Usually, best performance effects may last for decades. Moreover, in order to ensure the highest possible quality, we every day carry out tests on our products, and we created a system of self-certification called Quality Decoral for high resistance finishes. Apart from the evident advantages in terms of performance and appearance, the more durable surfaces are, the less waste they produce. And this is another environmental benefit, isn't it? In addition to this, our powder coatings do not emit volatile organic compounds, thus significantly improving the indoor air quality. Think that the concentration of indoor air pollutants is 2 to 5 times higher than outdoor. They affect the well-being of people more than what we can imagine or perceive. This is a key aspect that we found also in the international protocols dealing with sustainability, which are LEED, BREEAM, and WELL. LEED is the most widely used green building system in the world, being applied on voluntary basis in more than 150 countries. It certifies the energy and sustainability performances of buildings. I will not go into the detail of this green building rating system, but I'd like to quote one of their statements that, in my opinion, gets straight to the point. We believe green buildings are the foundation of something bigger, helping people and the communities and cities they reside in healthily, safely, and sustainably thrive. The heart of our green building communities' efforts must go well beyond construction and efficiency and the materials that make up our buildings. We must dig deeper and focus on what matters most within those buildings: human beings. Well, this was LEED, but what about BREEAM and WELL? BREEAM, established in the UK to assess the environmental performance of buildings, recognizes and reflects the value in higher performance assets across the built environment life cycle, from new construction to in-use until refurbishment. Within health and well-being category, credits can be achieved by meeting requirements related to VOC content and emissions in indoor air as it was for lead? Well, is the third protocol that I want to talk about. And this one is focused on health and mental well-being of those who occupy a built space. This system seeks to measure, certify, and monitor all those building features that can compromise occupants' health and wellness. Why did I focus on these three certifications? Tell you that it is because our products meet the requirements of these protocols would not be correct. The purpose is to draw your attention on the fact that do not simply issue the best performance for construction, but they try to adopt an organic view, putting people and environment on the same level. Enhance people well-being while protecting natural resources when making economic investments. This is the point. A healthy indoor environment has a direct impact on the occupants. As proved by several scientific studies, it increases productivity and cognitive functions of workers, learning processes and concentration in environment used for education, and reduces the hospital stay. The pandemic that we are facing these days is showing us, and I would say emphasizing, the importance of indoor spaces as never done before. To curb the spread of COVID-19, many national governments had required people to stay at home, in some cases not for a few days, but for months. This has forced and is still forcing us to rethink our indoor spaces. And in such a situation, a healthy environment cannot but make the difference. Once again, we decided to give our contribution. Not only VOC-free, we also formulated a special antibacterial series of powders that inhibit the proliferation of bacteria. Where can they be applied? I would say wherever you want. Shelves, work tables, windows, in restaurants, hospitals, public spaces, and so on. Now, it's time to summarize a little bit what I've been saying so far. We talked about the concept of sustainability and explained it in more practical terms by bringing our experience. We understood that a sustainable development is connected to the industrial production and to the products themselves, and acknowledged that there are many institutions and scientific methods that certify the quality, durability, and sustainability. We finally agreed with the fact that sustainable environment do not include only the outdoor spaces and the macro category as we are used to think about, but also the indoor environments and our small individual dimensions. But here is another piece to complete the puzzle: the wood effect aluminum. As I mentioned in the introduction, in the early 19th, we patented a technology to decorate aluminum surfaces with wood, marble, granite effects, and so on. It is an eco-friendly process that helps to reduce deforestation since it creates some effects like wood grain without using timber. It consists of applying a layer of coating powder on the metal surface and then transferring the inks printed on the heat transfer film into the coating layer. The transfer process takes place inside an oven running at a temperature of about 200 degrees. The decorative patterns shows through the semi-transparent coating layer and creates its countless effects that I was telling you about, like wood, corten, granite, and many others. Our surface treatments preserve the well-known properties of aluminum. It is to say, it is a recyclable, light, and workable material while enhancing its appearance. The aesthetic advantage given by this process is quite evident, but there is another reason why it is a wise choice. Let me explain. The case that I'm going to talk about is, I think, a clear example. A few years ago, we got in touch with an architect for a project in China. The idea of the architect was that of using marble, but because of the weight of this material, there were strong doubts about the safety of the structure itself. Therefore, we suggested to reproduce the marble effect on aluminium, since it is much lighter than marble. To make the aluminum sheets look exactly like the marble that has been chosen, we matched it and developed a custom finish right for this project. The architect finally decided to put these aluminum sheets from the second floor above, while in the first floor, the real marble was preferred. This way, it has been possible to achieve greater stability and safety while creating a harmonious effect. Now, let's give a look to some projects to see which are the possibilities. This is a metro station in Moscow. External walls made up of red aluminum panels depicting blossoming trees have been pre-treated, powder-coated, and decorating by our companies using our own raw materials. To tell you the truth, this was an exception since we are used to cooperate with our local customers who take in charge the manufacturing process. Another great project involved the metro stations in Dubai. This time, the aluminum sheets were used for the ceiling of the building, and they were purchased in different locations. Our factory in Italy, Europe, and Emirates. As in the previous case, the sheets were pre-treated and then coated with bendable powders. We formulated a special series of powders that bend without cracking. After having been decorated, the aluminum sheets were bent to be finally installed in the structure. Well, in the following slides, you will see some details of other projects we did around the world. Some of them require the decoration of metal surfaces with powders and films, others only powder coating. Let me sum up what I've been telling you before concluding this session. The development of the last decades took us to incredible results in terms of innovation. But with progress, sooner or later comes also big challenges that may become even bigger if progress is not controlled. Some unpredictable events may also happen, as it has been the case of the last few months. The reason behind these challenges and the consequences they might bring are usually not clear at the moment we are facing them, but they definitely give us a lesson. We do have to take care of environment. We do have to put attention on our health. From our point of view, this can be made by focusing on what we manufacture and how we manufacture, on what we sell, and by creating strong connection with other companies. Because our actions can turn into beneficial effects on environment and human beings.